Saranne Rothberg is, in fact, the founder and CEO of ComedyCures Foundation. Joins us once again. How are you doing?
I am great. I gained that COVID-19 that everybody talks about, the 19 pounds that go after COVID.
No. You look great. Last time you joined us, we were in the studio and we had an important conversation about the work of ComedyCures. Remind folks what the foundation is and why you're more important than ever before.
Thank you. We bring therapeutic entertainment to the ill and underserved. And we used to have many award-winning live programs, and we had to pivot in March, and we had to come up with a way to continue to serve in a super relevant way, but do it digitally and be socially distanced.
We met back in, I believe, 2003, the Russell Berrie Foundation, the Making a Difference Awards. You were recognized as a winner, as someone who's making a huge difference. Back in 2003, you've stayed connected to the foundation, but let's do a little bit on your background so that people can understand that. You were diagnosed with cancer 21 years ago.
Yep.
You've been cancer-free.
Well, actually, I was misdiagnosed 27 years ago, and it wasn't for 6 years I was diagnosed.
At what point did you decide, I remember talking to you about this before, but it's important our audience understands this, that ComedyCures would be created, that you would be the leader with so many others, and you would want to make a difference in the lives of others. And as it says, I've never taken this off, live, love, laugh, right? Live, love, laugh. Where did you come up with that? And how did you know that that would be the key to so many people struggling?
So my first chemo treatment, April 30th, 1999, I decided to throw a chemo comedy party. And I did that in New York, and I saw the joy that it brought everyone, not just myself or my caregivers that were there, but the doctors, the nurses, the phlebotomists, the pharmaceutical reps, anybody that was in that space of that chemo room. When they entered, it was entering my celebration of life. And I looked around that room and I said, my gosh, we've changed the taste, the touch, the sound, the experience of having chemotherapy. I think I need to do this all over, anyone that will let me show them the power of therapeutic humor and a comic perspective. So that little chemo comedy party, April 30th, 1999, has become like a laughter and comedy revolution. And now more than ever in COVID, we are seeing that we are still so needed and so relevant. So we took what I started in that chemo chair, and we've gone to 4 continents since then. I was scheduled to go to the Vatican and to do programming at a really interesting think tank with the Pope this past summer, and that got postponed till 2021. But I never imagined, I hoped and prayed that I would survive a stage 4 cancer diagnosis, and I did. Thank God I have no visible disease still to today. But the fact that I could take that little chemo comedy party with my little band of supporters and bring that to the World Health Organization, bring it to the United Nations, to the first therapeutic reunion on Broadway for the families of September 11th. Laughter is contagious, and using a comic perspective for a stress management strategy, whether you're a frontline worker or you're living with someone that you're quarantined with, or whether you just want to connect with family, friends, workers around the world, having a comic perspective is such a great tool right now. So we are teaching Zoom chats, believe it or not.
What's a Zoom chat?
We're doing workshops on Zoom where frontline workers from all over the world can join in and learn how to use a comic perspective for de-stressing, for respite, for revitalizing, refreshing themselves because they're under so much stress. So normally we teach this program live, right? We would go into a hospital or we would teach at the convention. And now we're doing it through Zoom. And we just did one last week that was so fun. We had a major cardiologist from California. We had a major cancer researcher from New York. We had a dental surgeon. We had a nurse, like people who would never meet each other, letting down their guard, if they opt to be visible on Zoom. Some people do it without being visible and become part of this learning workshop where they share an hour of laughter, of fun, of exercises. So that's been one of the really cool programs that we've done during during the pandemic.
What is fan casting? Is that something different?
Yeah, Fancasting is actually a private startup that I thought of in March, beginning of April. I come out of the entertainment industry originally, and the first thing I saw was how static and boring everything got, whether it was, a live audience in a talk show not being able to be there, or a sporting event, concert, comedy, or music. And immediately I came up with this idea of how to create an audience that could be socially distanced and safe, right? But still have this experience of being reactive, and the team or the performer could feed off of the energy of that audience. So I contacted a buddy who was a former Fortune 500 CEO of 7-Eleven and Blockbuster. And I said, I have this idea of how I can solve the fan audience situation. And I told him, and he just said, let's do it. So he got together a team of technical people, and our startup Fancasting was born. And so it's quite amazing. We're already in discussions with a major sporting universe and a music and comedy universe, because the things that have come out, even since I came up with my whole technical solution, pale in comparison. So we've seen cardboard cutouts in Korea. We've seen sex dolls used in audiences. We've seen screens used. We've seen people zooming in from home, sitting on their couch. But no one has come up with this really cool interactive audience experience. And that's what we're doing. So I'm blown away. It's like I have two hats. Part of the day I work on ComedyCures, which is my passion, and we do that, all over right now. For ComedyCures, we're collecting another 1,000 new toys and games to deliver. We've already delivered to Harlem Hospital, Brookdale Family Center, and to know that the kids who can't have their visitors and they can't have their child life specialists because they're on COVID floors now, that every day they can wake up and get a new gift to play with and explore. As a retired teacher, that was super important to me, that we thought of a way at ComedyCures to keep kids still kids, even though they have to go through the pandemic and medical treatments, like the rest of us.
Let me ask you before I let you go. 2003, when you won the Russell Berrie Award for Making a Difference, real quick, the difference it made in the organization, because we would not have met if it were not for that event.
No, I always think about that. It comes around every year, and I try to go when I can. And I know that you host it too, and that you're still involved. I mean, just thinking about, I've given away 14,000 toys from the Russell Berrie Foundation alone. I mean, just, the amount of gifts that I've been able to give because of their generosity. Also, when you win a Making a Difference award, it allows hospitals and orphanages and camps for all kids and senior centers. It allows people to see the work you're doing and then ask you to continue to do it on a bigger and better level. So I'm grateful, and I love Angelica, and I loved Russ. I had met him too before he passed away. And they've been part of our organization's growth and success, because they are, and God rest his soul, such big philanthropists that when they approach you, it means it's like a seal of approval that you're doing great things in the universe.
Trust me, I know, because they've been a part of our growth from day one as well. And as they celebrate the 25th anniversary,
Amazing.
I just want to say thank you, not just for being with us once again, but for doing the work you're doing every day. And we wish you and everyone on the team all the best. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. We love coming back every few years. It means I'm still here and that we're still doing good things. I think my dog agrees.
I got it. Thanks so much. I'm Steve Adubato. I'll be right back.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey. The Russell Berrie Foundation, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, PSE&G, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, NJM Insurance Group, Englewood Health, TD Bank, and by Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters. Promotional support provided by NorthJersey.com and Local IQ, part of the USA Today Network, and by ROINJ,